everyone, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. We have a lot of fun, so sit back and enjoy. So we're all friends here, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I was so disappointed in my last video, the one where I showed the tour of my prim room. Guys, I had to use a bright light to film that because that room is rather dark. And when I watched this video on the big screen TV, I was shocked at all the dust and all the little tiny flecks of things that you could see that you couldn't see in real life. I mean, it picks up everything. And I was telling a friend of mine about it, and she said, "You worry too much." She said, "It was fine. We loved it." But I didn't like it. I almost took it down. But I left it on there, and it is what it is. But I saw things that I can't see in real life in that room, and it kind of bothered me. So I just wanted to tell you that. I've done over 175 videos. You'd think by now I would learn how to do this the right way, but I goofed up. But anyway, it bothered me. I hope it didn't bother you, and I hope you still enjoyed the tour. Now, do you guys think that when I saw this sign, I turned on two wheels and went to the free thing alongside the road? Kevin and I were driving to Planet Fitness one day, and we always go past the house that has the estate sale that we've always gone to. And I hit the brakes. They didn't have a lot sitting out, but it was all free. I hit the brakes. We pulled in. We got out and started talking to the people. He said, "I knew you guys would show up." He said, "You go by about every day." And he's the one that had the amazing estate sale that I got, the 25-cent vintage baby dresses and the $2 pitcher and bowl set and a bunch of cool stuff. And I don't know if they were given this stuff or what, but they're not allowed to have more than 2 or 3 sales a year, so they were just giving it all away. And they had some really cool stuff. I thought these old brush rollers were cool. I collect old beauty shop stuff, but I didn't get these. But they had a little bit of everything, and there was a lot of glass. So later on, I'll show you what I got. But we talked to them for a while, and they refused to take any money. They just said, "We set it out here. We want it to go." I thought this looked like a Kleenex holder, but what are those things on the side? And then, of course, the old yellow colander. They have that at every sale. And I did pick this up. It's a kind of vintage Valentine's box. My dad always got my mom these boxes, and they're so pretty. And this one was really pretty. It had a vintage look about it. I think it's probably from the 90s. I don't think it's real vintage. But I opened it up, and it had Mom and Dad Valentines in it from the kids. And it was glued on the flowers, and they were really in bad shape. They were all smashed. But I thought the fabric was so pretty, so I took off the flowers, and I soaked them in water and fluffed them back up, and I hot glued them back on, and it looked really pretty. This is after I did that. But as I went through the stuff, Kevin was talking to the guy. I found these books. The Hungry Baby Bunny. That one was from 1981, and it looked kind of vintage. And then this one I thought I would give to my friend that likes horses because she teaches, and she might read that to her students. Then I got this Shirley Temple coloring book from 1937. I thought it was really cool. It's real big, and all through this book, it's all been colored in. But it had been $15 at this estate sale. I don't know. Maybe they got this stuff after the estate sale was over. I forgot to ask him. I was too busy looking through everything. But it was $15 at the estate sale. And the book's telling about her school that she went to in between making movies, and how she played in between in the set, and the things she liked to do, and the places that she went, and the locations that she went. And this was her Palm Springs Playhouse. It was a glass block building, and this was one of the locations she went to. And they were really stressing that even though she was busy working as a little child, she also had a lot of fun, and that she enjoyed her life a lot. And it was a really cool book and in good shape. And then the man came over to me, and he said, "Here, you're going to want this." And it was an Elvis Presley photo play magazine. And I thought, well, yeah, I'd like to have that. And Brad was with us. And he was in the back seat. He didn't get out at the sale. He gets mad at me when I'm getting free stuff because he knows I don't need it. And I brought it to the car, and on the way home, he was looking at it, and he said, "This isn't just a magazine. It's about Elvis all the way through." Well, I got to looking at it, and it was a tribute magazine from when he died in 1977. And Brad was looking through it, and he said every page has Elvis on it. It's all about Elvis. So I thought that was really cool. I thought it was just a magazine with him on the cover and an article about him in it, and I thought, oh, I'll take that. But it's got souvenir portraits in it, like 8x10s that you could frame, and it's in really good condition. And I thought this was sad because it came out right after he died. And then this was a girl he dated real early on named Dixie Locke. And if you go on YouTube, I've watched some interviews with her as an older lady telling about her dates with Elvis, and it is so endearing. And I thought, can you imagine having been able to say you dated Elvis, like one of his first dates? So anyway, go on YouTube and look at Dixie Locke's interviews. You will love it. She's a beautiful woman. And I love the ones with Elvis and his mom and him kissing her. That reminds me of my Matthew. My Matthew kisses me all the time. And then him going off to the service and coming home from the service, and he was so handsome. And can you imagine all those guys? We had a guy from West Lebanon who said he served with Elvis. And then the picture of him standing in front of his mansion. And can you imagine in like 1957 how proud he would have been to have made enough money to buy that house, and how proud his parents would have been? He just looks so proud standing there and coming from such humble beginnings. I think it's really neat. And then, of course, the stories about his wedding in Las Vegas. It was just, it went through his whole life. And this was a t-shirt you could order for about $3, and they'd ship it to you. It said you could put cash in the envelope, and here's some stuff you could buy. I used to buy posters and stuff out of the back of magazines. And then this is the part where he died, and it's a really interesting magazine, and I looked it up online, and you can buy it in bad condition for $15, but if it's in really, really good condition, they want about $100 for it. So I'm glad that guy brought it over to me. I probably wouldn't have looked through the magazines. So yeah, it's a 1977 tribute to Elvis right after he passed away, and I thought, think of the people who bought that at the grocery store, and originally it cost $2 at the grocery store. So Brad sat in the back seat and looked at that, and he thought that was really cool. I got this pair of salt shakers, salt and peppers, that are probably 50s. And then I got, well, that's the bottom of them. It said they were $10 a set at wherever they came from. And then this is one of those carnival glass flash painted souvenir vases. And I just picked it up, but when I got it home, it said it was from Columbus, Indiana, and that's about 2 hours from us. And then I got this unopened bottle of beer that is the Cardinals when they won one of their championships, and Brad dislikes the Cardinals so bad. I handed it back to him, and I said, here, we'll give this to Larry or John. And he just kind of made a face like he didn't even want to touch it. He doesn't like the Cardinals. He's a Cubs fan. So I said, just take it. And I said, you can give it to one of them. And he reluctantly took it from me. But I thought for free. It was kind of cool. It said it had been $5 at the estate sale. So John or Larry will like it. And then I got this. I thought it was just beautiful. It's not cut glass. It's pressed glass. But it's a candy dish. And then these two little berry bowls that are probably pressed glass. I thought they were so pretty, and they would look cute on my little kid's table, or you can use them as coaster. I put one on the coffee table yesterday, and it works great as a coaster. And then I got this candy dish that didn't seem to have a lid, but the base of it was just gorgeous, and it shined up so pretty. And we're big on candy dishes at our house, so I'll probably use it. If it came with a lid, it didn't look like it did, but if it did, it didn't have the lid. And then I found this little creamer that would look cute anywhere, but it would look really cute in my little child's table. And then this little Merry Christmas cup. It's very Victorian, and it's pretty faded out, but on one side, I don't know what this design is. It kind of looks like a lady, but on the other side, it's got an old Victorian Santa Claus, and it's just beautiful. And I think it had been $3. Some of them had tags and some of them didn't. And then I got some wooden bookends that were kind of pretty. And then this. I looked this up, and it's a cake plate by Fostoria. And it has these beautiful little fluted handles on each side. And it's got a real pretty etched pattern. And it's in perfect condition. And it's kind of shallow in the middle. It's called Fostoria Navarre. I think I'm saying that right. And candle holders. They had a pair of candle holders that were bell-shaped double candle holders with a diamond pattern, and I looked them up, and they were from the 40s, and they actually had a set, and they were in perfect condition. And he was this guy that has the sale. He was handing them off to me saying, "Here, I know you like this kind of stuff." I never pick these up at the store. I have a few, but I don't pick them up because I don't want to do double candles, but these were really pretty. And then it was almost like this sale was just made for me, or this free giveaway, a cake plate. And it was very plain, very, very vintage. And I looked it up, and it's a bakery. It's called a bakery cake plate. They were real common in bakeries and as cake stands in restaurants. Very basic, probably very heavy. Richards and Hartley made them. And it's just simple, but it's really pretty. And it was made pretty early too. Some of them were made in the late 1800s. So then they went up to about 1920. So I love it. It's pretty plain, but I love it. You know how I love my cake stands. And it's in perfect condition. Doesn't have one little chip on it. So I'm really enjoying my mood ring. It starts off black when it's just laying in the drawer, and then it turns to a real pretty yellow. Then it kind of goes into a soft green, and then a soft blue. After you've had it on about 2 minutes, it gives you the color of what your mood is, which mine is supposed to be blissfully happy with this dark blue. And mine stays blue until I take it off, and it goes back through the green and the yellow, and then eventually back to black, and I love it. And Kathy's Kitchen, I haven't done that for a while. She always liked green, and I think everybody had a percolator back in those days. And I thought this was a neat old food processor. Kind of shows you how dated things have been. And then at the Mission the other day, they had these sparkly dresses that were like glitter fabric, and I bought 3 of them for $1 a piece for a friend of mine who makes Barbie dresses. She makes the most beautiful gowns. And then there's another set of the double candle holders and some more little cordial glasses. The double candle holders are usually not in a set, and they're usually chipped. And these little glasses, you can just find as many of them as you need. They have plenty. Now we're back to the dime store, and I'm showing you some pictures that I didn't show you the other day because I had so many of all their cookie cutters, and their mood rings are about gone. During the festival, they almost sold out. Then they had another mood ring I hadn't noticed before that was like a wedding ring, and I guess for men. And then more toys. I found all these pictures that I didn't show you the first time around. I just thought all these little Western guns and holsters were so cute. My boys had those silver ones, and I still have them. I saved those for them. And then they had little pink holsters and pink guns, and of course all the little Nerf-like bullets and the little caps that you put in them. They just had everything. Little army hats and tons of kaleidoscopes. There were more than 5 or 6 different kinds of kaleidoscopes. Then this was called Fly's Eyes. You look in it like a kaleidoscope, and it shows you what a fly can see. And I didn't realize flies saw so many patterns and colors all at once. It's kind of wild. Then these little glitter batons, which I would have loved when I was little. I had a regular baton. And then a little vintage toolbox and little rolling pins. And one of my commenters, my followers, commented that she wondered if they had jacks. And they did. I knew I took some pictures of some. My brother played these when we were kids. He had the metal ones. I never got into jacks. I guess I didn't understand how it really worked. But I never really played with them. But she had asked about them, and I thought I knew that I saw some jacks, and I was pretty sure I took pictures. They had 2 or 3 kinds. And then they had these bopping bags where you knock them over and they pop back up. And these glasses that you can look behind you. My brother probably had those. Kevin said he had marbles when he was a kid, and he wished he still had them because they're better than the ones of today. These little bubbles were cute in little umbrella stands. And then the telephone that goes back, all generations have had that little telephone. And they had miniatures of little things like this little boom box and just about any kind of toy or anything you can imagine. I found something in there I'd been looking for a long time. They had these little things that went in your cup holder in your car. Now we're back to Goodwill. Aunt Kathy's kitchen again. Now this would have been green in her kitchen, but it was a little plastic sugar bowl with a lid. They didn't have the creamer, but it really reminded me of back in the 70s, maybe the 60s. And they had these little pink glass things that were so cute. And I thought, wonder what those go to. And I got back by the lamps and I found these two little crystal lamps. So I ran back and got the little pink things and put them on there. And one of the workers said, oh, those go together? And I said, yeah, I think they do. And they were only $5.99 a piece and they lit up beautifully. I thought they'd look pretty, like on a mantle or a dresser. Then they had these pretty footed goblets. And I have amber goblets, so I didn't need them, but these were vintage and they were really pretty. And then they had a couple of turkey platters, and this one was in perfect condition, but I don't think I would really use that. Then I made a mistake here, I think. This little coffee grinder had a $40 tag on it from an antique store, and it had like leather or some kind of veneer around it that was coming loose, and I think I didn't know if I could fix it. But it needed cleaned up, and it was only $2.99, and I probably could have fixed it. I don't know. I might have made a mistake, but I'd never seen a coffee grinder like that. They're usually square, and I was surprised that they had that for $2.99. Then I could buy these things and stack them to the ceiling. I love them so much. Platters and plates with roses on them, but I have to put the brakes on them at times too because I have too many. And this is one of those things that's the beads with the safety pins. And I held it up, and when you hung it up, it was like a little plant holder. And I had a friend who used to make those, and I just thought they were kind of vintage and kind of dirty, but they're kind of cool. I don't know if these were Pioneer Woman, but they were so pretty. And then they had the most beautiful set of pink flowered dishes that I really loved. They had the meat platter. They had almost all the plates. Then they had the Rosenthal moss rose that I love. And I had a lot of these little teapots because people bought them for me when they found out I collected moss rose. And then this is the original moss rose. It's a little, I think it's a biscuit jar. It doesn't have a lid, but I think they wanted $6.99 for it because it's the original. And I thought that would kind of look cute in the kitchen with like spoons in it, but I didn't get it. But it was really pretty. And then they had more cutting boards. This one had bread all over it, which I didn't care for, but this one was really pretty with the fruit. And then, guys, this is weird. I saw this deviled egg tray. It was baby blue with gold around the edge. And I thought, that is really unique. You could use it for Easter. But I put it back because I have some. I have 3. I didn't need it. So I put it back, and I kept thinking about it. And I turned it over and took a picture of the back for you because it's so beautiful and so unique. I thrift all the time, and I have never seen this. I should have picked that up, but I didn't. So the next day, I'm sitting and talking to Brad, and I looked down at my phone, and it was one of those Facebook pages that's like thrifting and vintage stuff, and someone had posted this saying, look what I found at the thrift store. They said it's a 1950s deviled egg plate in the original box with the original label on it, and it was that one. Is that not weird? The very next day I said, Brad, I just saw this yesterday for $3.99 and I didn't buy it. So I called my son who lives by that Goodwill and said, go over there and see if they still have that plate, and they didn't have it. And I was just kicking myself because it was so unique. I should have known better. I thrift so much and never seen one. You know that that's unique. And I just passed on it. But isn't that weird? It's like they listen to us through our phone. They say they do. And the very next day I saw that. I thought this was a weird little doll. She had gray hair and her skirt was pleated, and inside every single pleat was a napkin rolled up. So I thought, did they set this on the table and put napkins in her skirt? Oh. And Andy Williams still reigns supreme over the album section. He must have made 150 albums because every single time I go to a thrift store, he's on the front of every album row that they have. And then I told Kevin, I said, talk about feeling old when your favorite rock star is on the cover of AARP. Rod Stewart, we love him. We've seen him in concert a couple of times, and Kevin just gets the biggest kick out of him, how he dances around at his age. And then remember the little dry sink that I said I think I could paint and make look primitive? I'm kicking myself over that because it was only $19, and I've been seeing them on Facebook Marketplace, and they want $50 for the real tacky 1970s ones, and I could have painted it. This one's red. I've seen him painted all different colors, and I wish I'd have bought that. But it's gone. And then I did buy this little candlestick lamp that's got a little crystal piece in it, and it's really pretty. I don't know if you guys remember when I went to Goodwill last year and wanted to buy this for my sons for their future home, and Goodwill wouldn't hold it for me. I had my car, needed my truck. They wouldn't keep it overnight for me. And Kevin had words with the manager, and it got a little testy, and I didn't get it. It was $50. And I saw them online from $300 to on up to $1,000. Well, I didn't get that one, and I've been thinking about it ever since. So the other day, I'm on Facebook Marketplace, and there it was. Same table, same price. I said, I'm getting that. I texted the person or messaged him through Facebook Marketplace, and oh yeah, I've got it. I'm close to you. She was only like 12 miles away. So Kevin and I get up early in the morning. It's frost on the ground. It almost looked like snow. It was so foggy you couldn't see. The sun was in our eyes. But the trees were beautiful, and we were having a great morning. And she wanted us to be at her house at 9 a.m. So we get there, and she lives on a little road with only about 6 houses, and none of the mailboxes had her address on them. So I texted her, and she didn't answer back. Now, I'm telling you what, Facebook Marketplace is my favorite thing, but when I sell something on there, it sells, and the people pick it up, and the transactions go totally smooth. When I go to buy something, it just goes crazy. I don't know, it's like, I don't understand it at all, why they can't just stay alert and know what's going on. When she knew I was coming at 9 o'clock, she should have been at least looking at her phone to see if I was having trouble finding her place or something. But it all went haywire. We didn't get the table. And I told her, I said, I was there, but you weren't. So anyway, I got another Facebook Marketplace story to tell you in the next video, and it's a good one, and you're going to like it. But anyway, this one bombed. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're still with me after this long and rambling video, I was complaining about my last video, and this one's wilder than that one was. So I want you guys to all have a wonderful few days before October's over, because it's over and then it's Thanksgiving time. So please like and subscribe if you like my content, and I love you guys from the bottom of my heart.